Warning, the following video contains information of a medical nature in dealing with cancer. This is information that is being presented by somebody who is not a medical professional and not a doctor. If you have cancer or are dealing with somebody who has cancer and you are interested in using essential oils at all, or some of the ones mentioned here, I highly recommend that you do good research and bring your information that you have gleaned yourself to your doctor to ask them questions about it. I do not recommend getting information from websites that are trying to sell you a product, especially ones that are of a somewhat dubious nature. By that I mean MLMs like Young Living or doTERRA or Isagenix or Sensi or even Avon, who sell essential oils but they do not know what they're talking about. Trust me, I've looked at their websites. Please don't. That being said, welcome to the circle. I am the angry aromatherapist, and let's get started. So, hi y'all. My name's Starling. I'm a clinical aromatherapist, and in this video I want to talk about some specific chemotherapy drugs and essential oils that should be avoided at all costs when you are on these drugs. But first, I want to talk about basic essential oil safety when dealing with treatments such as chemotherapy or radiation in general. So there is a general rule that you should avoid using essential oils from about a week before starting a regime of radiation or chemotherapy to a month afterwards. No essential oils, not even the ones mentioned here. These are ones you shouldn't be even in the same room with, period. But and I'm talking peppermint, lavender, basic stuff too. There are two reasons for this. One is a little bit more on the scientifically proven angle, although not really at the same time, because it's more of a precaution because we don't know. So it's generally believed that all essential oils should be avoided, again, 1 week before, 2 months after, around chemotherapy or radiation, due to the immune mechanism's tendency to be unpredictable during this time. Your immune system is going to be all haywired because essentially chemotherapy and radiation is you're kind of poisoning yourself. And essentially that is what it is. The poisonings are what's going to poison the cancer, hopefully, and hopefully not you by adjacency. So it's definitely recommended to just avoid them because we don't know how your body's going to react with them. And it's just a general safety thing. The second thing about it, and this is much more hypothetical in theory, and it has to do with the concept that some essential oils have some cell rejuvenation properties to them. And it is theorized that it's possible that the essential oils could wind up protecting the cancer cells from the chemotherapy in the same way that the essential oils could be protecting your healthy cells, potentially. So you could be kind of working against yourself in this case. Again, this isn't proven, but it's theorized. So it's something to take into consideration. If we are going to believe that, especially if you're more in the woo-woo and the MLM quackery scope of things, that essential oils can cure everything. They can cure cancer, blah, blah, blah. Well, if they can cure you and protect your healthy cells, then adjacently they could be protecting unhealthy ones too. So we want to stay clear of any chance that you could be minimizing the effects of your chemotherapy or your radiation, because why have to do more than you already are going through, because that's nasty. you don't, nobody wants to go for chemotherapy, so let's not make it worse than it already is. So that being said, in this video, I'm not talking about that because it's all very theoretical and it's just a basic kind of safety concept. But what I do want to talk about is actually more of a scientifically proven thing here. And that has to do with certain chemotherapy drugs, certain essential oils, and how they can interact with liver enzymes. So let's get into that. So if you don't know, your liver is essentially what prevents us from dying out a long time ago. Along with your kidneys and your skin, the liver is what keeps us from poisoning ourselves by just existing within this physical world. Everything's toxic to some degree, and our liver, along with the other organs, filter out the toxins for us. Sometimes we can take in too much toxins, and the liver and kidneys and skin and all that can't protect us from it, and we wind up dying. And so it's very important, especially if you're going through hardcore treatments like radiation and chemotherapy, to keep your body running as smoothly as possible so that it can focus on the fight that you're putting it through to save it from the cancer instead of being distracted by other things. And sometimes your liver can get distracted by being made incapable of metabolizing certain things with its enzymes. And this goes for a lot of different essential oils and a lot of different drugs. And it's not just these enzymes in the liver that I'm talking about today that essential oils can affect. The one that I use a lot as a demonstration, I guess, is G6PT deficiency. So G6PT is an enzyme. It's in your blood, made by your red blood cells, and essentially what it does is it protects your red blood cells from deteriorating. If you are born with the genetic G6PT deficiency, when you get exposed to certain things like fava beans or peppermint essential oil, it will cause a reaction in your body to where your red blood cells will either stop production, slow production, or make defective production of the G6PT enzymes, thus allowing your red blood cells to deteriorate. So enzymes do a lot of very important things, and unfortunately, essential oils can affect the enzymes in your liver that metabolize drugs. And the drugs are everything from caffeine to chemotherapy drugs. It also includes drugs used for HIV patients, for diuretics, for heart medications, Parkinson's, all sorts of things. Antidepressants. I have a video out on antidepressants and essential oils that you need to avoid. So if you want, you can go look at that. And it's a lot of the same thing. Here, same essential oils, same similar enzymes, but again, talking about specific antidepressant drugs, not chemotherapy drugs, as I am going to be doing here. So there are 4 specific drugs that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And again, this is not all the drugs that anybody could possibly be taking for treating their cancer. That is a whole world that I would like to do dives into, but more shallow dives, just to keep the video short and information easy to glean. That, I don't want someone to have to sit through an hour-long video to hear one small tidbit when I can group things into smaller videos that way, and it's just easier to get the information. So the drugs in here that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to put up on the screen. There's going to be the generic name along with a brand name, and I am warning you now that I am going to butcher a lot of this. That's why I'm going to have it written up on the screen, because nobody can understand what I'm going to be saying in the following. I guarantee it. I've tried my best, but I have a hard time with these sorts of things just because I'm deaf, and big words like this can sometimes confuse me. So let's get started. So the first drug is Cyclophosphamide, also known as Cytophosphane. The next one is Doxorubicin, also sold under the brand name of Adriamycin. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm so sorry. Vinblastine, sold under the brand name of Velban. And then Vincristine, also known as Leurocristine, and marketed under the brand Oncovin. So those are the drugs. If I didn't mention your drug here, and it is a specific chemotherapy drug, consider researching what the generic name is, or the family that it comes from, because it could be classified under one of these. And if it's not, you can leave a comment below and I'll see what I can find out for you. So, what essential oils should be avoided with these? Well, for all of them, you need to avoid great mugwort, blue tansy, yarrow chamazoline chemotype. This yarrow is not an easy one to find. It's more of an industry one, but just for reference, the chamazoline is a component of the yarrow essential oil. And something like blue yarrow, it's only at like 0.14%, but the chamazoline chemotype essential oil can have it up to 19.7%. So it's a pretty big difference. So if you are, for some reason, dead set on using yarrow and you're going through chemo or radiation therapy, one question why you're being dead set on using that, there could possibly be an essential oil out there that can do the same things or smell similar enough that it isn't going to have the same issues. But if you're really, really, really dead set on it, make sure that you find the paperwork behind the essential oil so you can check on the chamazoline percentages. There is a website, a company, I don't know if they're in the States, I think they are, but they're out of Toronto here in Canada. They're called New Direction Aromatics, and they have their essential oil information easily available with the complete breakdown from the batch that the current product that they're selling is from. So you can get down to the very, very small percentages of every single compound that's in that essential oil. So I would recommend that if you are really dead set on using yarrow, to make sure that you can find out the percentage of a chamazoline within it. The last one in this case is my mortal enemy, blue German chamomile. So blue German chamomile is a pretty common essential oil. It's expensive, but you'll find it in most well-stocked health food stores. And of course, most online stores will have it. It is nasty. It really is shockingly so, because chamomile is so gentle. We have so many, it's associations with it that, it's safe. You can give it to babies, you have tea when you're sick or things like that. But blue German chamomile, Matricaria camomilia, is to be avoided if you're on most medications, for it affects CYP2D6, CYP3A4, CYP2C9, and CYP1A2. That's a lot of the enzymes that metabolize a lot of the drugs that essential oils could interfere with. Most essential oils affect only one enzyme. Blue German chamomile might be the one that affects the most. I recommend, though, if you are dead set on using a chamomile essential oil, which I understand, unlike the yarrow, I get the chamomile, use Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is gentle, it's safe enough for babies, obviously diluted severely, always dilute, always dilute. But yeah, you can give it to infants who are teething, not orally, but put a tiny bit diluted in a carrier oil into their bath at night with a little tiny bit of mandarin essential oil, and it'll be very soothing to them. So Roman chamomile doesn't have the same interactions with drugs as blue German chamomile does. So stay away from that. by all means, even if you aren't on chemotherapy drugs, if you're on any medication. So I have to go back and talk about cyclophosphamide, also known as cytophosphane. It, like the others, is metabolized by CYP3A4, but it's also metabolized by CYP2B6. So there's even more essential oils that need to be avoided if you are on that drug. They're the following: horse mint, also sometimes called bergamot, has nothing to do with the citrus bergamot. You have Ceylon citronella, Javanese citronella, finger root, also called Chinese ginger, gem rosa, Australian lemon balm, that's also called lemon-scented ironbark. It's actually a type of eucalyptus. East Indian lemongrass, West Indian lemongrass, Melissa, which is lemon balm, honey myrtle, lemon myrtle, palmarosa, lemon tea tree, thyme, geranol, chemotype. So this is similar to the yarrow, with its compound being geranol. So it is a Thymus vulgaris, so just common thyme, and it is at 24.9% on average. You can compare that to a white thyme, which is at 0.08% geranol. And also, it should be avoided the lemon thyme as well. That's Thymus citroodorus. So those are the essential oils that you need to avoid. Please be careful. So essential oils, yes, they're natural, but don't forget, so is arsenic, cyanide, botulism, anthrax. They're all natural too. So be careful, please. If you have any questions involving your own health or a loved one's health and how essential oils can affect you, you can leave a comment below or send me an email. My email is in the description. If you have any aromatherapy products that you would like me to take apart and analyze, please leave the names of them below because I really like doing that. And as always, I really have to say that for the love of Severus Snape, please don't eat essential oils. It's not good potions protocol.